Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to do exactly 100 arena duels in the new arena that came with the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. And I'm gonna count all my victories and losses, and I'm gonna add a little counter on the top of the screen so you can see them in real time. Well, you can probably see the duels in real time as well if you're watching the video, but never mind. I took on the arena on my solo 120 build that has broadsword, Corvian great knife and light crossbow. As my rings I have life ring plus 3, fab plus 2, hornet ring and Leo ring. So yeah, that's all you need to know about my build. I also have the very light roll under 30% equip load. And here we are already at it against this guy who I think he has something stuck on his like L2 button, because that's mainly the only button he's touching in this fight. And I of course punish it right away with the unparryable attacks. And so yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on the arena lately. On this past week I have probably done like at least 700 to 1000 matches, I bet. Would be my rough estimate of how many matches I have dueled in the arena. I'm not that interested on the what could you call it, like multiplayer arena modes. They're cool that they're there, but they're not for me. I'm not really interested about the you know, 2 versus 2 or like free for all. If there's even a free for all, I don't think there is. I'm not sure. But anyways, those things don't interest me after I heard that you cannot actually play with your friend liably. So yeah, I haven't taken part on those. I have only done duels so far. And yeah, this video is going to consist of me giving some opinions about the arena itself, and also commenting on the fights that happen on the background. And also, if you could do a little favor for me, guys, please type in the comments now how many fights do you think I win and how many fights do you think I lose from these 100 matches that I recorded. There's 100 matches here, back to back. I needed to record a few more because there were a couple of fights where people actually disconnected before I get to fight them and stuff like this. So yeah, only those are edited out. Everything else is still there from the 100 fights that I recorded. But yeah, here I already fought this Drifter Yoji. This guy I really liked fighting against. Actually, there is another fight with him right in the back here. We had a couple of fights in here and he was really interesting to fight against. He uses washing pole and this kind of a great bow setup, which was pretty interesting. He doesn't use the great bow too much. He uses it on the start of the round to get a hit on you, but other than that he uses the katana. I think he switches to some other katana later, but right now he's using the washing pole. But yeah, a little bit about this build that I'm using here. I use the Corvian great knife for like speed and to deal with like people who like to press the parry button a little bit too much. And then I use the broadsword to actually use the weapon art mostly. I use the weapon art for roll catching, I use it for combo purposes, I use it for like counter hitting with the Leo damage for like people who like to be too reactive with the weapons that cannot trade with hyper armor, because the weapon art actually has hyper armor. So yeah, you're gonna see that used a lot. And I make good use of the broadsword's weapon art and other qualities and the Corvian great knife, so this is kind of balanced on both weapons pretty much. I also use a lot of my fire bombs here to like kind of not let my opponent breathe too much or get too much distance on me, which is kind of not working most of the time because the arena is so goddamn huge. But yeah, that is one of my... Well, why don't we just start talking about the arena first and then more comment on the fights. So about the arena, I cannot say too many good things about it, to be honest. I cannot really say that I like the arena too much. Like, I think the best thing about arena is that it's there. Now we have an arena. But everything else kinda is small or larger like complaint from me. So let's just get into it. Firstly, uneven ground. I told when I saw the first footage of the arena, or the first screenshot of the arena, when the DLC was advertised, that the uneven ground is gonna cause some problems. And I was right. There are some pretty nasty things that actually happen sometimes, not too often, I must say. It hasn't caused a lot of trouble. Up there, I got roll catched by the Drifter Yoshi. Good job, good job. Great fight in there. I hope you're watching those as well. But yeah, yeah, the uneven ground hasn't really caused too much trouble yet, but every time it does, it freaking annoys me. Like every time like something wonky happens because the ground is uneven, like makes you think, ah, I just wish it would be flat. But there's hope. There is hope. I hear that they're going to add more like arena areas. I think it was said on some interview with the From Software or Miyazaki. I don't know which it was. Was it some representative of From Software? Was it Miyazaki? But I think it was said in an interview that there is going to be more arenas added in the future DLC. There's only one DLC coming, so I bet that there is more arenas added there. So we have hope. And what I would hope for a DLC arena, if they're gonna add some more, is just this, like, you know, the space in the... Well, I have hosted some fight clubs in there, if you have watched any of my videos in there. It's kind of the watchdog of Farron, or Great Wolf of Farron, something like this. You take the elevator up, and there's this sunset thingy, and there's the stairs and stuff. That area is perfect size, and it's flat. That would be the perfect size for one of the areas, and I hope they add this, like, so-called tournament arena in the future DLCs, where you cannot run, you cannot backpedal for like ages to escape your opponents, you cannot just like keep running away, but you still have room to move and space your opponent. That would be the perfect kind of size to the arena. But as the state of the arena is now, that this one we're fighting at the moment, it's not great. It's way too big. Like, I understand why it's big, because it's also meant for like the group battles when there's more than like 2 people fighting. But when there's 2 people, this is way too big. Other thing about the arena, the freaking tower. You see the tower that is kind of half collapsed in there, that you can kind of climb onto? Really bad idea. It's really bad idea. To be honest, it's not usually a problem, but when it is, it's a huge problem, and I tell you why. I have encountered some builds that are almost impossible to beat because of that tower in there. And it includes healing and catering. I know that most of the people would say that, hey, you should just punish the heals. If someone uses healing miracles, it's so slow that you can punish them. Most of the time, yeah, yes you can. But there's a trick to this. If you have a catering and your opponent doesn't, you can just run up there, and if they don't follow you, you can heal in there. If they follow you, you can jump down, and if they jump after you, they will lose half of their freaking health bar. That puts your opponent in a nasty situation where they need to act really fast, swap to the catering and follow and hope to plunge you or something like that. And even that doesn't work every time. And the problem with me is that I don't have the freaking catering. I don't have a catering, so this is practically bulletproof tactic against me. I wouldn't even, like, I don't know if it was a good idea to tell you guys about this. It's super clever, I give you that. It's super clever tactique that you equip a catering and trade a couple of times with your opponent, run up to the tower, heal there if they don't follow, or if they follow, you jump down and make them lose their health and heal after. Rinse and repeat. It's borderline genius tactique, but it's also pretty impossible to counter if you don't have catering, or it's super dangerous to try to counter if you don't have Catering. So yeah, those kind of setups are possible now with this kind of ground where you can like take the benefit of Catering. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of like healing miracles on Arena, but other than that situation, I don't really mind, because the Faith builds are not that good. Like, to begin with, you could just have to be frank, they're not that good. So that's kind of one benefit that they get, but with the Catering, the healing miracles come pretty damn OP. If your opponent doesn't have Catering, that is. If your opponent does have Catering, you have an opportunity to chase them as long as it takes, or just take a draw. If you want to take a draw, you can take a draw, but that's not something I would do. I would rather fight than like a forced draw on my opponent. I really don't like taking draw fights, but yeah, everyone can do what they want. And here we are dueling Drifter Yoichi again. And I really like dueling this guy. Every single fight against this guy was really interesting. And of course, like, katanas always put me on a tight spot with this setup. You can do measures against it, like, I usually like to bait with the, like, with some R1s and try to counter them with the weapon art or something like that to hit the... And apparently my freaking Sony Megas just decided to crash, so let's see if I can actually piece this commentary together again. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, I fought the Drifter Yoichi, I think, there. Just a little mental or like a memory note for myself, so I can piece these commentaries together. But yeah, funnily enough, for this build, your basic meta weapons like, what could I say, Legion Saber or Goddess Curved Sword or stuff like that, those are not actually that bad matchups. They're still bad if there's a good player using those meta weapons, of course. Like, you cannot deny that, it's always a challenge. But with the broadsword weapon art, you can trade with a lot of stuff and still like walk away from it with the winner of the trade. And also, this was a draw. So, just a little reminder, I will count draws as victories. Sorry, I just do that. And here is a weird dude who was doing something but died like super duper fast. I don't know what was up with that guy, but that happens. Sometimes you run into these very weird very weird things when you're doing the arena. And this weapon, you see those like claws in there buffed with the Goddess Rouge. Even though this guy is actually naked, I know that if he lands one of that weapon art to me, and every hit of the weapon art hits me, which it does, if it catches you, it will combo. It will kill me. It will straight out kill me because of the bleed builds. And that is another topic we can discuss here. The 30% health cut. Why did they do this? I really don't know. I really don't know what was the thought process of From Software when they thought that it would be a good idea to put the unembedded form for the arena. And I don't really even know if I like or don't like the decision, to be honest. Like, it feels that everything kills you super fast, but then again, sometimes I can kill people super fast. So, of course, it's even, but I don't know. I really don't know what I actually think about that. I don't know if it's a good decision, I don't know if it's a bad decision, it just is. And it's something that you have to get used to, I guess. But then again, I have done so many invasions that I've kinda used to the fact that I have less health. So I don't think it's that big of a shock to me as it would be to other people or some people. I'm not talking about everyone, of course. But yeah. And what in oblivion is that? Oh, it was my beer. Sorry, guys. Anyone been playing the Skyrim remastered version? Yeah, me neither. I really didn't have time for that yet. I gotta check the Skyrim remastered version out for like 15 minutes, and it just felt like Skyrim and looked like Skyrim. So I don't know. Maybe I get some time for it later, a little bit. But hey, it's free because I own the freaking deluxe version of it. So yeah. But yeah, enough about Skyrim. We're actually playing Dark Souls 3 now. Dark Souls 3. Nice freaking tongue cheaters. But yeah, as you can see, the only ring swap that I actually do really is the life ring swap to the Sun Princess ring, I think it's called, the health regeneration ring. Sorry, I'm bad with the names. I'm super bad with names in that. In Dark Souls in general, I forget about the names of all the freaking spells because I never cast any, and yeah, yada yada yada. But yeah, I've been having so much fun in the arena. Like, as I told you, I think I already discussed this, but I have had like almost 1,000 matches, so I have spent a shitload of time in here dueling, and even with the arena shortcomings, which I go back to in a moment, I still enjoy that we have arena, because my favorite thing to do, especially on weekends, on all the Souls games, has been getting shit-faced and doing like repetitious arena matches. And I freaking love it. That's one of my favorite things that I've been doing in Souls games. Like just arena match after arena match, and just downing a beer, second beer, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and just like, it's so fun. Like, and it's also nice to see my freaking performance in duels go down and down while I get more drunk, but I care less and less what happens, and it's just I love arena, I must admit. But back to the faults of arena. It's really buggy, at least on PC. It's really buggy at the moment. These bugs consists of really laggy connections for some reason. Like, I don't think this big amount of laggy connections have been on PC before, or then I have been super lucky. But I've seen so many laggy people on arena that it's unreal. It has to be to do something with the PC version, I bet, or like the arena. I don't know which one is at fault. But something happened with the Ashes Variandal update, because it also made my game crash sometimes. Like, in every 2 hours or something, I keep on doing the arena for hours and hours, and every 2 hours or so, it just randomly crashes. Like, just like that. It just happens. It happens very randomly, and I don't know what caused it. But I've been reading some stuff, and it might be some kind of Windows update as well that is causing this. But it happened with the same time as the DLC, so I would gravitate towards the DLC being at the cause. But yeah, that's an issue. And there is also this weird bug that I have encountered where I spawn into the fight like 30 seconds earlier than my opponent. And I have gotten free backstab on my opponent when they spawn into the fight. I don't think I have the footage here. Like, on this session, I don't think I had any fights where that happened, but that is actually something that happens. Someone on my Twitter actually said that they might be using a very slow HDD, and that's why they spawn into the fight later, but I don't really know about that. I'm not a technical wizard, I don't know how these things work really, so yeah, I don't have any input on that, but just a little word of warning, that will happen. So don't get weirded out if you get just straight out backstab when you spawn in, because I have done that to people a couple of times. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know what really causes that, if it's a bug or if it's really a slow HDD or something like that, but that really happens. So, did I have anything else to say about the arena? Well, it looks a little bit lackluster. Like, I think it looks okay, it's not the worst that they could have pulled off, but it's so goddamn grey. It's just greyness. And I know that these videos from the arena are going to look like shit, because YouTube just really likes those grey and bright places, because they're freaking like, when they, I don't know what the hell happens to the YouTube videos, but when they get uploaded, they get, on default look like shit. And I think these bright areas are gonna make it look even more like shit, so yeah, I cannot wait to see what this video is gonna look like. I'd try my best to make it look like good, but no promises, guys. Oh yeah, here, here we're going to see bleed build in action. And say what you may, but bleed builds and mages are the two things that kill me the most. Definitely, not even a competition there. Bleed builds and mages, and you would think, what the hell? They're so gimmicky. Like, mages and bleed builds are so gimmicky. I cannot help it. I cannot help it, guys. I still get, sometimes you just get hit by the gimmicks and you just like feel bad every single time, and I cannot help it. I'm fucking bad. But yeah, it happens. It happens. Let's take a little bit more of that beer. Also, this I can't really remember what the name of that scythe was, but that's one of the most common weapons that I ran into in the arena, which is not a surprise because it's kind of like one of these new DLC weapons. But first I was like, what the hell, they gave this scythe hyper armor? But then I actually learned to deal with it really nicely. I just like, you have to play sort of a reactive game, even if you wouldn't want to. You have to play a reactive game against that scythe a little bit. Here I make a stupid decision against Drifter Yoichi again. I should have just run behind the pillar when he was charging his great bow shot in there. I don't know why I didn't do that, but now on retrospect I did dumb things, and sometimes I do dumb things. That's how I am. But yeah, as you can see there, I also use a lot of black fire bombs, and those are really good tool to like pressure your opponent, and you cannot let them get too comfortable, like keeping the spacing. I sometimes free aim them a little bit in front of me to hit them while they roll in and stuff like this, but usually it's just a pressure tool. And as you can probably see there, I have made a lot of use of my straight sword or broadsword weapon art, and one might ask, why are you not using some other straight sword for this? And I have no answer to that. I have no answer for that. I just like the broadsword, and I had it upgraded already because I have played with this weapon before, and I think like I have pretty good knowledge on both my weapons at the moment. The light crossbow is, I have to admit that I have that is kind of a new thing for me. I haven't used crossbows in this game too much. So if I do weird things with the light crossbow, that means that I'm not really experienced with the crossbow as a sidearm in there. But Corvian Great Knife and Broadsword, I have played hundreds of hours. Well, I don't know hundreds, but at least close to it. With both of these weapons, and I love both of them, and they both have their uses. And also, a little tip, if you're having problems with Valorheart, the Valorheart weapon, the new one in the DLC, use the straight swords, and use the freaking weapon art, the shield break one. They will get fucked, because they cannot take the stamina damage from it, and they're constantly blocking, even if they don't want to, during some of the attacks. So yeah, that's just free guard breaks for days, on most of the cases. Sometimes the weapon art kind of gets you in trouble if you outspace it, like, or misspace it, or use it too close to your opponent. It can fuck you up because you kind of pass, like go past your opponent, and then you're vulnerable for backstab. And it's also really easy to parry. If your opponent knows how to parry the weapon art, they they have a really easy parry in there. They just wait that out, and then you need to do some shenanigans, use jumping attacks or something else, go for the backstab or something if they're too obvious with it. But yeah, the weapon art is on the broadsword or straight swords stance, the R2. It's easy to parry, really easy to parry. But it's really nice. I really love the weapon art of the straight swords. Works fine for me. Here we have this this guy. I have dueled this guy before a couple of times. He's one of these a little bit more reactive cordless curved sword users. So usually what works against these guys is just there. Oh my god. I usually don't go for the double parry, but I thought he would attack after the throwing knife. And oh god, you look so scrubby every time you double parry. That's why I never do it. Like there, I look like a total idiot. But yeah, usually what works against these kind of guys, and that guy, well, against that guy earlier, was that when they do this kind of reactive thing with the cordless curved sword, that they wait for you to come in, and then they swipe you when they get when you get on the range, because cordless curved sword is amazing for that stuff. Try to poke them and try to activate your hyper armor frames from the weapon art of the straight sword, and you will win that trade, especially if you have Leo ring and hit the counter. They will get fucked by the damage, and you will win the trade even against the cordless curved sword. Right there on the last fight, I was just playing bad, to be honest. I misspaced my weapon art, so I'm gonna get fucked in there. He was able to swipe me from clean distance, and yeah, I'm gonna fuck that up, so it was my bad. But usually it works against cordless users, especially if they're the ones that are way too like predictable about their reactive playstyle, and they don't really go on the aggressive ever. So you usually get to do that. And you don't have to worry about parrying, because everyone uses the two-handed weapon art, not weapon art, but cordless curved sword as well. So against this setup, I wouldn't even call cordless as one of the like worst matchups, even though it usually is on most of my builds. But now that I have the straight sword, that is kind of flipped, and cordless or Legion Saber usually doesn't give me too much trouble in the setup. Great Machete is another weapon that I tend to have some difficulties with at sometimes, and it's definitely the best heavy weapon in the game, by far, no competition in my opinion. The splash range of the stun is just, it's amazing, and the damage is just, it's disgusting. So from like heavy weapons, the Yom's Great Machete is definitely the one I have the most problems against. From the DLC weapons, I cannot really decide which has caused me the most problems. I think it's I think it would be safe to say that it's these claws when they're infused with the Cordless Rouge. Not infused, but buffed with the Cordless Rouge. Sorry. Because sometimes I get hit by the weapon art. It just happens. Sometimes you just get hit by silly things, and yeah, it just outright kills you. It kills you flat out if you get hit by it, and every hit of it lands. Because it bleeds, it does good damage, and the arena has the 30% health cut. Here we have this guy called Len. I think this is a pretty good player actually. I have played against him many times on the arena. I just kinda tend to run into this guy a lot. But unfortunately we have terrible latency between us. Just terrible. Like every single time I fight against this guy, it's horrible connection. Every hit like lands on like 1 second, full second late, and it just kills all the like what these fights could be. But I really don't have anything against this player. He does pretty good job usually on these fights, but the latency just makes it so dumb, which is unfortunate, but it happens, and it happens especially much on the arena for some reason. I don't know what that is. Why is arena so laggy? I cannot really explain it. But if you guys have spent a lot of time on the arena, please let me know in the comment section if you have more lag on the arena than you usually have had before the DLC hits. I mean. So if it's just me, or it's like if it's a common problem that some of you guys have as well, I would be very interested to know about your experience with the arena in general as well. But yeah, I thought it would be like, I was thinking what kind of arena video I want to do. Like, do I want to do like a just general commentary, hey, arena is pretty good or pretty bad or pretty lame or pretty this and pretty that. And I was thinking like what would be interesting like arena video to do. So I decided that, hey, let's do 100 matches so we get like that KDR. Well, no one really freaking cares about that. Cares about that usually, but anyways, like we do 100 matches, see how many I win, see how many I lose, and just while doing these 100 matches, like I talk about my experiences on the arena, what is good, what is bad, and just comment on the matches as well. So I like to do, like, I feel myself gravitating towards a little bit more longer commentary videos these days, because this also gives me a chance to like kind of train my commentary, which is not that great. Like I'm very critical about my own commentary, because I kinda like I have a wonky English accent and I'm self-taught in English, so I pronounce some things really oddly, and like this gives me also a chance to like check these recordings later myself and see where I have like kind of troubles on pronouncing some things and like what things I could articulate better. So these are kinda like the best kind of videos for me as an uploader to do. Like I love editing videos as well, but sometimes you gotta do these commentaries to like improve, and I think I have improved my commentary a lot in the past 3 to 4 years I've been doing this. So yeah, that's something that has really developed. I have had like quality videos for a long time now, but I think with every single new video, I think my commentary improves, and I kinda like that. Like, there is always room for improvement, especially for me, but yeah. It's kinda like nice to see your own progress in like as an uploader when it comes to your commentary and your like video editing skills, so to speak. Yeah, I've also had a lot of people like asking how I get so good like video quality, or do I have any tips for video editing and stuff like that. And I guess like, would you guys want me to show you some of the like editing tricks that I use on a separate video? Like, would anyone be interested about that? Because I see a lot of uploaders that don't really realize some things that like would improve a lot of their image quality by just a couple of clicks in your editing software. It's really simple stuff usually. So if you guys would be interested, like maybe there's new uploaders like trying to give a chance for like video editing, or maybe you're just interested about some things about video editing, would any of you be interested to see that kind of stuff? It would be probably just really fast stuff using the like basics that I usually use, not that heavy edits or anything like that. But if you guys would be interested to see what the video editing like includes, I could make a short video about that in the future as well, because I've had just a lot of people ask about these things lately, and yeah, might interest some of the people. Here we are fighting the Great Alphonse, and the Great Alphonse is like probably from another side of the world from me, because we have an insane latency problem here again. And this is really like sad, because I find good players in here like really often actually. There are some pretty good fights that I have on the arena. The overall quality of the fights has been really surprising actually. But most of the fights, like, there is some or like really heavy lag involved. So really disappointing in that sense. But it is what it is, I guess. And here, a nice draw with the fire bombs. Here we have this guy who is really out to challenge himself. At first I was like, what the hell is he using as his weapon? But then I realized that it's it's a broken straight sword. So yeah, he's up for a challenge in here. Also, about the medal system, there is some kind of medal system. You get this different kind of medals next to your name when you win or lose matches at the arena, but I've just had the same medal all the freaking time. Like, it never changes. It's the same bronze-looking medal every, like... I've done like 1,000 matches and I still have the freaking bronze-looking medal, so I don't really know if this just... am I colorblind or something? Is this the gold medal? I don't know. But it hasn't changed ever. Like, I think on the first couple of fights it like changed, but it hasn't changed since. So I don't know about the medal system. How it actually works. It's really confusing. But yeah, I have this medal with a skull in it, and it looks like a bronze medal, so yeah. But here we get another fight against this broken straight sword user. Oh, poor guy. But this is his decision, and I intend to challenge him with all I got, because that's what he's probably like seeking. If he's seeking to challenge himself using that weapon, I will give him the challenge that I can give him with my setup, and I'm not gonna give him easy time just because he's using the broken straight sword. Also, something I want to mention about my arena fatigue, if it hasn't showed up already. I don't give free buffs. I do not give free buffs. If I see you buffing when you spawn in, I'm gonna punish you with firebomb. I think it's a fair trade. If you're gonna add like extra 100 damage to your AR for free, like, I'm at least gonna damage you a little bit while doing so. So yeah, you might disagree with it. I'm fine with it, we have different opinions about it, but at the arena where we already have 30% health cut, I'm not gonna give you free buffs. That's just something that I won't give you. Because bleed setups, one weapon art will kill you. If you make a strong buff, straight sword, 4 hits you. So yeah, that's just something that I don't have time to check what kind of buff you're applying when I throw my firebomb. You're going to eat that firebomb to the face from the start. If you're gesturing, I will not attack you, but I have a couple of times on accident attacked someone while they've used gestures, but it has not been intentional. But yeah, that's what I do. You guys do what you guys do. If you want to, like, of course, if I would have buff, I would buff as well, but I wouldn't be mad if people would punish me from buffing. It says match begins in the the beginning of the fight, and that's when the match begins for me. I will throw a firebomb at you if you're going to buff. That's just how it is. So yeah, burn gonna stick for it, but sip of that beer. But yeah, something that really is curious to me is so many guys are using their Covenant colors on the arena. I bet it's just people not knowing that they can take off their Covenant colors and use their fashion souls, or then it's just Covenant pride. That could be also one of the things. One of the things why people use their like Phantom colors. But my personal opinion is that fashion souls, the best fashion souls is when you don't have any Phantom aura or something like that going on. And thank goodness they don't have the arena auras from Dark Souls 2. I freaking hated those things. Those always freaking ruined my fashion souls when you were glowing like a goddamn Super Saiyan every time you had the aura. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But I know a lot of people would have wanted them to come back into the arena, but if they would come back, I would at least want them to be optional, so you don't always have to have that goddamn ugly aura glowing around you. But that's just me. I think I remember this guy. Yeah, this is the backpedaler king. Like, he just backpedals for days. And sometimes I like to play their own game. Like, if they keep on backpedaling like this, not attacking, not doing anything, I just run to the other direction. I just run to the other direction to see what they do. And sometimes they get so confused. What the hell is going on? Where is this guy going? But this is only a way to get you just do something, because you don't win matches by doing nothing. Like, if you just keep on backpedaling, no one's gonna win, and we're going to take a draw. Here I unfortunately get hit by the weapon art, because usually I use the sound of that weapon art as a audio cue when to dodge, but in this case I couldn't really do that because I was blasting so much music, like music was super loud when I was playing these matches once again. As you know, my favorite thing, like listening music really loud and drinking beer and just having a good time, so yeah, I cannot really use the audio to my benefit. Usually it doesn't really affect in duels, usually more in invasions, because there's very few things in this game I actually dodge when using like an audio cue. And as you can see here, I'm super low on health. But luckily, he takes out the Valor Heart. And Valor Heart is not a problem against this setup. I have only died like, I think once against Valor Heart setup on the arena. So that is not much compared to how many people use it. But yeah, Valor Heart, not a problem to Prot Sword, not at all. Actually, I would think the Straight Sword is one of the best counters against it. Also, I'm very glad to see how much variety there's on the arena. Like, a lot of people are using halberds in here as well, and like just a full set of different weapons. Like, of course you see more of these new DLC weapons because people are trying it out to see if they like it, but like them. But overall, I'm very impressed about how much diversity there is when it comes to different setups on the arena. A lot of cool fashion souls I've seen and stuff like this, so yeah. Really nice on that part. But I really hope that we get an actual flat, small arena space. That's all I would want from a Dark Souls 3 arena. Small and flat. Like, big enough for you to have room to move around and space out your opponent, but not big enough for you to be able to backpedal for freaking years, because that shit gets boring. And that actually gets... weirdly enough, it's a double-sided blade, in a sense, because that makes mages a lot more harder to deal with on the arena than they have been before. Because mages really are the ones that like benefit the most from backpedaling. And I've actually won... Actually, I remember a couple of cases where I have lost against mages who just backpedal away and keep on casting, and you can't do anything else than roll. It has killed me. I die to these kind of gimmicks sometimes, because I get frustrated, or like, not even frustrated really, but kind of, I just don't have time to deal with their gimmicks for days. And I just like, I have to take my moments and try to like do something before they do, because of course you can get a full stack of blue Estus as well, the Ashen Estus, so they're not gonna run out of freaking MP in there, and it's so easy to save that blue Estus. So yeah, I might be a little bit different player, but I lose most of my fights to mages, definitely. Like, there is not even a competition. Melee is not my problem, it's the goddamn mages. I just don't have a patience to dodge a million years of backpedaling mages. But yeah, that's me. I think everyone, every player has problems with different things, but yeah, I get wrecked my mages more than anything else. Not all mages, of course, but yeah. And here we have Ace Ventura, who is using some kind of fist weapons. I don't know if he's using bare fists or what, but I just wish I would have had the goddamn follower javelin so I could throw those throwing spears to Ace Ventura. If if you get that reference, I salute you. Shikaka! But unfortunately, I don't have the follower javelin on this build. Actually, that's one of the weapons that I have to test on like dueling setting. I really like the weapon in random invasions, but I don't know how that works in duels. I have a couple of people use it against me in duels, and oh, it really didn't work out too well. But maybe I have to give it a try myself to see if it has any potential to do anything. But the weapon art is it's kinda bad. It's kinda bad. But maybe there's combo combo potential in it, sorry. Not material, what the fuck am I even saying? But yeah, Ace Ventura is pretty cool build name, and then there has been so great build names in the arena. Like, people are so creative with their freaking character names. I ran into Bernie Cinders one day. I actually tweeted out that because I think it was super funny. Bernie Cinders. And there's a couple of great ones in this session I met as well. Well, I can't really remember, but I hope some of those are in this session. But like, people are so creative with their freaking character names. I wish I would be that like creative person. You will see a lot of pyros in the arena these days. Here, I got hit by the goddamn vestige gimmick. Oh god, cheaters, you're so bad. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes you just get hit by the gimmicks and you're gonna feel bad. And you cannot help it. And you cry yourself to sleep. Usually when I like load my crossbow like that, I hold it like ready to shoot. I usually never shoot it. I actually like try to get some close enough distance so that I can roll in and poke them from the roll. That's what I like to do with the crossbow. I usually never shoot from that range. This pyro guy was actually pretty close to killing me. Once again, the goddamn mages to get me. To just get me. This new rapier that has the throwing knives things, it's surprisingly powerful. Like, sometimes when you get counter hit by that weapon, it hurts like a motherfucker. Like, it hurts so much, and it gets me like it gets me by surprise sometimes. And I should never roll in when they throw the throwing knives, because the follow-up has the goddamn fast and long-range spoke, and that when it hits the counter hit, it's so powerful. But luckily I got hit by it pretty rarely. But when it hits, it really hits. It fucking hurts. There are pretty odd crossbow finish. He was completely frozen. Once again, that goddamn weapon art hit me. I can't believe it. But yeah, all in all, when talking about this arena, I really appreciate the fact that we have the arena. I really appreciate it. I really like that there's multiple game modes for people, whichever you want to prefer. I prefer the standard dueling mode. I love this. But when I want chaos, I don't really enjoy like free-for-alls or 2 versus 2s or stuff like this. It's not for me. I get that thrill from invasions rather than arena duels, but for each to their own. Like, whatever you like, that's your thing. And I like that there's options for different people. But like, in general, there's a lot of stuff to improve. There's a lot of bugs in the arena, and I don't know if the lag is caused by the DLC or what is causing it, but the lag is a huge issue as well. The 30% health cut, can't really say yet. I can't really say my opinion about it. I don't even know my own opinion about it really, so I'm not gonna say anything about that yet. What else? Yeah, the healing gimmick with the cat ring. I think the healing miracles are okay. Like, they're not as huge as of a problem in this dueling mode. I think it would be a lot more bigger deal in other modes, to be exact. So when I get to test those more, I maybe like reconsider my opinion. But right now I don't really care about the healing if you don't do the goddamn Catherine gimmick. That is clever. I say it again, it is very clever gimmick, but it's really annoying to deal with and nigh impossible to deal with. So yeah, I just if you haven't encountered those setups yet, like, be lucky, because that is like, if something in this game can annoy you, that shit can annoy you. Like, they come and trade with you a couple of times, run into that tower, if you follow them, they jump down, you have to jump back to them, like, ugh. It's just endless loop of like, just really, really annoying style of play, but yeah. That is really tricky to deal with, but it is clever. I say it again, that is really clever setup. Here we have another pyro. And usually what I use against pyros when they use the fire surge is that I try to use the weapon art to like kinda hyper armor through the whole shit and just poke them in the face, and they will lose the trade. Just about everything in this game loses the trade against that weapon art when you have Leo. If you time it correctly, the Leo hit is just mwah. The damage is great. So I love that weapon art. It's so useful for different situations. Like, if opponent has hyper armor and you are in a safe position to trade, just do it. If you like, just do it. Oh god, I used that meme on accident, I'm sorry. Yeah, you get just like, one of these new metas actually is that you spam R1 with hyper armor weapons, so you like keep your hyper armor on. Not really effective against the straight sword weapon art, because you can pick your right moment, and even if you trade, you don't get staggered. And if you trade, you usually win that trade, because the weapon art is so powerful. The weapon art R2, I mean. And the R2, weapon art R2 combos to R1 really fast. It is not a real combo, but the attacks kind of combo really fast. So some people who get caught off guard by your R2 usually get hit by the follow-up R1 as well. So yeah, it's just super powerful stuff. And if people block that, good fucking luck. They get guard broken so fast. It will make their head spin. This guy is actually pretty interesting. He has his, that is good to note with that weapon, is that roll catches really nicely. He rolls into me and uses that slower attack. I don't really know if that's an R2 or L1 or something like that, but that really is a great roll catcher. So, gotta keep that in mind if I ever try that weapon myself. But yeah, this gives me a great chance, this 100 arena duels thingy gives me a great chance to see how much of a loser you guys think I am. If you typed in the beginning of the episode that, or in the beginning of the video, your guess of how many losses and how many victories I'm gonna get, I think I told you to do that, but if I didn't already, type into the comment section how many wins do you think I get and how many losses do you think I get on this 100 matches session. And we'll see how much faith do you have in me. But this is, actually so far with this setup I have been doing really well, I must say. Like, I've played with only this setup so far on the arena. Only with this setup, and I've been doing really well with it. I don't want to say like win-loss ratio, because that would kind of give you in to guess what the actual outcome is, but I have a pretty good thought about that as well in my head. But win-loss ratio, it's not a thing you should really think about too much, because of course different builds counter different things better than others, and this is definitely not the worst build you could have. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst either, so that also affects that a lot. And I bet that when I'm gonna pick up the next weapon that I'm thinking about, a little spoiler, it's not a good weapon. It's really not a good weapon that I'm considering as my next episode on the arena. But yeah, I think I'm gonna lose a whole lot more than with this setup. I think this setup is actually pretty solid due to my experience with both of these weapons. But with the next weapon, I see myself losing a lot more of these fights. Yeah, that whatever the is it follower saber? Is that called follower saber or legion saber or whatever that is? That seems to be the new meta or something. Yeah, it has some silly. It has the silly combo, but if you're aware of that combo and you adapt your playstyle according to that, you be a little bit more careful. It's not that big of a problem. I think the cart is still more of a problem because it's longer. And it's noticeably longer, at least against this setup. Against my Corvian Great Knife, the cart is a better weapon than the Legion Saber or whatever it is called. Here we have another guy using the weapon art of the straight sword. I kinda lost track actually how many matches I have lost, but I will add some kind of like a overlay on the like bottom corner or upper corner to show the matches of how many matches I've been going and so on and so forth. So if you get lost, like lose the track, you can check there, and I can check that as well. And I really hope I counted this correctly. I really hope. So let's just knock on the wood and hope that I haven't fucked up the amount of matches here. I kept count, and I even included like or discluded the fights where like people like disconnected before the match even started or stuff like that. They were AFK. Of course, I don't count in AFKs, so hopefully I have counted this correctly. But if I haven't, well, you get to laugh at me at the end of the video, I guess. Here, take a couple of shore roll pokes. We have a terrible latency with this guy. As you can see, he kind of crawls into an egg there and just... yeah, I know, man. It was terrible latency. Probably completely unplayable. Actually, the arena fights have been so laggy on most of the cases that I have had to check my like own connection if everything is okay. And everything is like rolling perfectly. I'm actually getting better connection than I'm paying for. And I'm safe to say that I have really, really good connection. So yeah, it wasn't at least my connection that was doing this thing. So here, I kinda hit this unfortunate guy like a million times with the fire bombs and he has already died almost because of them. And here I do a little sneaky move. I run in and shoot with the crossbow. Haven't seen this weapon in a while, actually, in like any form, not in invasions, not in duels, anywhere. I don't know, this was one of the weapons that was kind of like considered as like broken when the game came out. I really don't know why, because it has one combo that can kill you, I guess. This is one of those weapons, but when you have things like, what could be the... well, Onigiri and Upadachi, that thing. Like, I know a lot of people don't have problems with that weapon, but I do. And I have it for a certain reason. Because the startup of that freaking weapon art attack is invisible. Like, the hitbox doesn't make any sense of it. Like, I can never place, like, what's so wrong about the dodging about that attack. It just keeps, it keeps hitting me on so weird situations. The Onigiri and Ubadachi weapon art. it kind of like, when I see it starting, the attack, it has already hit me. And when it hits you, it stuns you, and then the weapon art hits, and after the weapon art you can get hit by the follow-up attacks as well, and you cannot escape, and you flat out die. And I don't understand that hitbox. Where is that hitbox even? Like, where does it go? Because it seems to hit you like from so far away and so off guard most of the time that when I play against Onigiri and Ubadachi, I need to kind of like super cautiously play against it so I don't accidentally get hit by it, because I cannot see the weapon art start. So yeah, that's really weird. I can never like pinpoint where the hitbox actually starts. So that's one of the things that I consider like very odd to deal with. Not necessarily broken. I haven't played with that weapon myself, so I bet that if I would realize some of the aspects of it that, oh, I see. This is how it works, or something like that. But I have no experience with the Onigiri and Ubadachi. Really, I have like tried it out on a couple of duels in the past, but I think it was patched at some point to be a little bit better. So yeah, but it's weird. The hitbox of the attack is super weird, and the fact that it combos to the follow-up attacks it's just weird. I don't know how I ended up talking about the Onigiri and Ubadachi, but yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about the like combos that kill you. But here you see, I attacked the guy who was buffing, and sorry, that's just what I do. Usually I just use the firebomb, but this guy was waiting for too long, he didn't do anything, so I just went in. I thought he was doing something else, casting or something, so yeah, I just went in there, went ham. But yeah, what do you guys think about like buffing on the arena? Should you like let people do it for free? Or do you also punish that if you're not buffing yourself? Because my mentality is that if I'm buffing, you have time to buff, but if I'm not gonna buff, you don't do it for free. So yeah, I don't know what's the like general community guideline about this. There is really not like stuff like that has really died like on the course of these like 3 Dark Souls games that I've been doing PvP in. Like, there were a couple of things in Dark Souls 1 that people just agreed on, and it was never talked about. Like estusing in a duel, it was a big no-no. At least for a while. I don't know what the meta is at this given day in there. I think everyone just is popping divine blessings or whatever for infinite stacks. But yeah, it's just like all these community-made guidelines have kind of like grayed out during the years, and people just don't give a fuck anymore about anything. And yeah, that's how it is. This guy is doing this this thing that I see some people doing, that he's kind of looking like he's doing a lot of stuff, but in reality he's not really doing anything. He's just running in circles and waiting me to come in. And yeah, I think that probably works on a lot of players. It even hit me a couple of times in here, to be honest. But when you see through this, you can figure out pretty good counters for it. Like running in circles yourself. I just wanted to show him that, hey, I can do that too. And then a quick poke to finish it off. He's still persistent on buffing his weapons. But yeah, those buffs just, they add way too much damage output that I cannot give it to for free for people. Some of the buffs, others don't, but I don't have time to check if it's a strong buff or weak buff. So, for example, Tears of Denial. on Arena it's more important than ever. I don't have like a Kirk set, so I can roll into people to take the last hit, so sometimes Tears of Denial can save these people. Also, I've been seeing a lot more like Havel monsters lately. I don't really know how good the poise like is supposed to feel, but I really don't like. I don't need it. I still don't need it. Like, I know it got some kind of like adjustment for heavy weapons or heavy armor. But, like, I just play the way I have always played and it seems to still work fine, so I don't know, maybe I have to check out some, like, stack some poison, get a hyper armor weapon and see how it feels, but I still feel that, like, my mobility is more important than being able to withstand hits. A little hard one spam in there because I see he was just looking for opportunity to punish my panic roll. But usually on that situation, when I have health, I usually don't panic roll. No, here you have a good example why I don't let people buff. Booyah! Jesus Christ, the damage. And that is actually, I think that, yeah, that was the Legion Saber. I must say, the freaking, the straight sword weapon art. I know I gotta repeat it myself here, but it's such a useful weapon art. It's so good for different situations. It adds hyper armor, it's good for counterattacks, it's good for roll catches, it's good for combos. Like, it's just a perfect weapon art. One of the best in the game in my opinion. Definitely one of the most useful ones. Like, it counters so many nasty little sort of meta things in this game. Like Karthus or like the hyper armor, like poise spammer thingies, and it can trade with people so well that it's just great. Great weapon art. Great weapon art. It has its weaknesses, but overall I think it's one of the most useful weapon arts in the whole game. I think I'm gonna, because I'm kinda low on respecs on this character, I'm not too fond of like, whoa, this guy's really going ham with the R1s. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about the new setup that I'm going to play with. I'm gonna have to figure out a dex weapon, because I want to go with the two weapon setup again. And this is gonna be kind of a spoiler for the next one, but I'm gonna pick a strength weapon, pure strength weapon for my next weapon of choice. And that was a good boulder heave. That was really good. Really caught me off guard. Black Flame. Ooh, oh my goodness! I haven't even talked about Black Flame. That is one of the nastiest things. Like, that thing combos with some of the attacks. Like, I don't know how long has it done that, but I've been hit by like these pyro setups that actually use like something like a straight sword or something fast and combo it with the Black Flame. Disgusting damage, like absolutely disgusting. And it's wow. I didn't know that the Black Flame actually combos with some like fast R1s, but that seems to be a thing. And there actually, that was a good example of how strong the counter pokes with the crow quills or whatever that weapon is. I think that's crow quills. Yeah, how strong that like counter damage on that thing is or can be. So I was completely surprised in there by the damage poke, and like I get like killed in I think 3 hits in the fight or something. Crazy. But yeah, what was I talking about? Sorry, I was zoning off a little bit, thinking about things. But yeah, I need to figure out some dex weapon to go along with the strength weapon that I'm choosing for the next arena setup that I'm going to do. And I hope I can make that weapon work, because it's kind of a weapon that gets shit on almost every Souls game. Almost. It's good on one of the games. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make it work, and I hope I can, but I haven't heard good news about it from too many people. So I hope I can make that work somehow. But I really need some kind of dex weapon to go along with it, and I don't really know what that would be yet. Something light. I hope I can keep my fast roll. Or my light roll, whatever the people want to call it. The under 30% roll. Without respecing my kind of a quality build here. I know I can make save backups, but actually, someone tell me in the comments, can you get banned by using save backups now? Because you couldn't in the past, but can you now? Because I know that they have more strict like banning system on work now. I have heard a lot of people have been banned. So yeah, just let me know if you have any knowledge on the save backups, because I haven't backed up my save in a long while, and I think I would need to do that. This is a weapon I never see. I just never see this weapon. And it doesn't really seem that bad. The damage is great. It's pretty fast now. And there I prematurely gestured, and this guy almost makes a goddamn like a comeback of a century. Not backup. I was already talking about the backup saves. Comeback of a century there when I was prematurely gesturing because I'm an asshole. Because I thought I actually killed him with the R2 of the broadsword in there. I think what I used. The weapon arts is so good for these kind of situations where you have so much health left. You can just safely trade with anything, because the weapon art, like if you activate it at the right time, you get hyper armor for it. And yeah, it's great to trade for those last hits against a lot of the setups in the game. Like that. If he wouldn't be ready to dodge from there, he would have eaten the R1 in the face as well, and that shit hurts. It seriously hurts. And usually it counters these kind of builds, but I have a feeling that I had a pretty bad luck against the curved sword reactive setups in this session, because if I remember correctly, this guy gave me a pretty hard time with it. Yeah, misjudged my range. That is the bad thing about the weapon art. Sometimes I purposefully use it from very far away so I can bait them in to punish me, so I can get the R1 version out and hit them in the face with that. But sometimes I just purely fuck up my range on the thing, and I just end up right on their nose so they can punish me with the R1. And yeah, with this weapon it fucking hurts. But yeah, this guy is doing a great job in here actually. And I got taken down by the throwing knife. There was clearly checking my menu if I forgot to switch back to the life ring, because honestly, I have forgot to do that so many times in the past. Like, I just, sorry, my throat is getting a little bit sore. I haven't gotten used to these long commentaries, to be honest. But, Jesus, beer. Okay, where was I? Yeah, I forgot to switch back to the life ring after I die in the arena, because of course you keep your rings. Of course, if well, die or win in the arena, your ring stays. So you always need to remember to switch back your life ring when you reset a new match. So sometimes I just forget to do that, and I'm left with the freaking Sun Princess ring from the get-go. But yeah, it's not that huge of a deal. The life ring isn't like life changing. Oh hey! But yeah, it's better than not having it from the start of the match. I have the rope fire bombs in there because I like to use that if I like get a riposte and the opponent doesn't die, or backstab and the opponent doesn't die, to like drop that on the wake up. But I don't think I used that on this session too much. There might be a clip or two when I use that, but I don't really remember. I've done so many matches on the arena that I can't even remember which of the matches are here. Because this is just 100 matches. 100 matches go by in just a couple of hours in the arena. Because these matches are so fast. Some of them that just go like this. If you get the guard break or something, it's just over. The match lasts like 5 seconds. So the 100 matches on the arena go by super fast. I wonder how fast the loading times are on the consoles, because on PC they are super fast. Like you can get these matches like boom boom boom, just like this, really fast loading times, and you can just keep it on going, and it's so enjoyable that you can just keep on PvPing. You don't lose the momentum. You got the drive going in there. Maybe drink a couple of beers, maybe blast some good music. Oh god, I have missed this. I missed this so much. Grey Chew. What a stupid character name. Oh yeah, this Ornstein. Like, I must admit, I kinda underestimated this guy based on his looks. Because, you know guys, like, there are some cosplays in these games that are never great players, and Ornstein cosplay is one of those. Like, Ornstein cosplayers are never good players, and I'm sorry for saying that, but I just say it from experience. But this guy is actually an exception. He's pretty good. He's pretty damn good, at least for an Ornstein cosplay. Like, I've never seen this good player using Ornstein or Ornstein cosplay in this game. So I was kinda caught off guard that how good he was avoiding my attacks and dealing his own. And yeah, I was really surprised by this player in general. I wonder who this guy is, and does he do this often? Or is this just a dirty secret he keeps hidden? Oh, I just like, guys, on weekends I like to dress up as a Ornstein and just go to the arena. I cannot help it. Yeah, I don't know if... And here, he even gets a parry on me. He even gets a parry, but he panics and doesn't riposte. So yeah, he is pretty impressive player, I must say. I was impressed by his Ornstein-ness. He's backpedaling a lot, so I need to like try to chase him a little bit. Luckily the spear isn't the worst matchup against Corvi and Great Knife. You would think it would be because the range, but it actually isn't because the speed of the Corvin Great Knife. You can poke on the side and be safe on the parries, and like they can get the second poke out in time to trade with you, and even if they do, you're faster to begin after the trade, whatever happens, if it rolls or like wants to trade with you, you're faster in any sense. So yeah. It gives a little clap to me. It has been going on for a while. I tried to use the weapon art after the roll because he'd been parrying a lot, so yeah. Ornstein didn't really have shield though, so I'm not going to critique your play, but I'm going to critique your cosplay a little bit here. So yeah, that's the only critique you get from me. But overall, this guy did pretty well in this fight. Try to tease him a little bit with the fire bombs, but the match is over. And we had to take a draw here. We had to take a draw. And I think we settled on like pretty good fight. Like it didn't end on conclusion, but good fight. That's all that matters, really. At least for me. I bet that there are players who would, if there would be an instant win button in this game, they would use it. But I much more prefer a good fight than like a good win, so to speak. I don't know if that makes sense to many of you guys, but yeah, just think about it like this. If the game would have a button where you could insta win a match, would you use it? I wouldn't. Because winning isn't all. Winning is fun, and that's something that you should aim for. But I really love just like really good fights. Really good fights like make me feel that adrenaline pumping in there. Of course, winning after a really good fight feels even better, or God forbid double KO. But yeah. Good fights are like what I live for in these games. There are a couple of roll catches, took care of the scythe-wielding nun. I kinda like the headpiece. I wonder if I can combine that with good fashion souls. It's kind of like a too distracting headpiece, so it will kinda steal the attention from your rest of the fashion souls if I will add that on some of my builds. I'm just so lazy at making new builds, god damn it. Like, I have this Faith build, the low level invasion build, Faith build, that is still on fucking works, and I've been doing that shit for like 2 months because I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy at making new builds, and I don't want to use cheat engine. I've never really used cheat engine, so yeah. That's unfortunate. So I keep on playing with the same builds and using, well, not always the same weapons, but yeah, some of the same weapons. This guy has pretty interesting setup. He has like a washing pole and the twin princess, twin princes, great sword. Oh, that weapon art on laggy connection, that is hell. Luckily this guy isn't too laggy, so I can actually deal with it. But that's one of the nastiest weapon arts to deal with if there's like heavy latency. Because you can keep on just shooting that, and it's just like impossible to block. Like you just have to, not block, dodge, I mean. You just have to keep on spamming roll and hope that you will dodge that thing. Because it will strike you without a warning with latency. Oh, and here I see this guy is blocking. What do we do? Those that block. Oh man, I love the weapon art stance on the straight sword. Here, the rope firebomb from the wake up to finish it off. That's Elite's favorite, actually. Elite likes to do that a lot. He loves the rope firebombs. I think he's a little bit more keen to the throwing knives than firebombs. Black firebombs are kind of my thing more than throwing knives, but We both like our black rope fireball, blah 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 blah. Anyway, whatever that is, that the dropping third bomb. When I already mentioned Liti, we were actually planning on a series, like video series together, where we would do PvP together. Huh? Yeah, I know we're more known for like doing... Well, we have done some fight clubs together and stuff like this, but we're most known about our PvE Pro series, where we do like silly walkthroughs and stuff, but we were actually planning to do a new series where we like team up on the arena and do like the 2v2 duels. But that dream got ruined by the fact that you cannot actually team up with your friend. I know some guys wouldn't have liked that idea really, because yeah, people don't like fun things, but we actually we were so excited to like play together as a team on the arena. But right now there is no guarantee. There is a way to get into a same match, but there is no guarantee to get on the same team. So that kind of ruined that idea. That it was a great idea. It would have been a great series, but it kind of got shit on by the limitations of the matchmaking, which is super unfortunate. I was excited to do that. And if someone seems to have like a bulletproof way of getting into a same team and into a same fight consistently, let me know. But at the moment, I think the case is that you can get consistently into the same fight, but not into the same team. So yeah, unfortunate. I was really really interested to do that series with LED, but no dice, no dice. Some things are just not made to happen. But yeah, let's get back into the fight. Actually, this guy, I think that looks more like a bronze to me, now that I compare it to my medal that this guy has. So maybe I have a gold medal? Please don't kill me, guys, if I'm seeing wrong, but I think I have gold medal in there. MLG, Pro, MVP, the real MVP, having the gold medal. And if that's a gold medal, I can tell you, it's really freaking easy to get the gold medal in the in the arena, because I got it from like after first like couple of matches that I actually did. Like it has been that looking for a while. Oh god, I have a terrible latency with this guy. Terrible. But I like that they like added those frost spells and stuff on the DLC, so frost builds are actually an option you can take at this point. There is at least something you can do with frost builds, when previously there were none. Like there is nothing you could do with frost builds. There were a couple of weapons that have frostbite, but that's all, pretty much. There you see, I tried to use the weapon art, and sometimes that happens, and it's one of the worst things about the weapon art actually. You can sometimes miss the opponent when it's clearly meant to hit them. I don't know what's the variable in there, like if it's just a weird hitbox, I don't know, I really don't know. But sometimes you just miss them on a very weird situations. But then you get those kind of things. Roll catch with the R2, follow it up with the R1 version, and they take like disgusting damage to the face. Disgusting damage. So yeah, definitely good weapon art. Like even with its like downfalls, easy to parry, like sometimes misses randomly. But overall, great weapon art. Freaking great. And here we have another Valor Heart user. So I'm gonna focus more on my broadsword usage than the Colvin Great Knife. I'm kind of cautious here because I see that he's using a fake shield in there. It's not the Valor Heart shield that he's using sometimes, so I'm gonna be careful about not getting parried in there. But right now he's using the Valor Heart, so I focus on using the R1 version of the stance. And he actually uses the lion thing. Wow, that actually happens rather rarely for some reason. Switches to the spear. And I take that short raid in there because I have the HP to spare. You see me a lot trading with this build in general. Like, I go for very brave trades, especially when I have the health benefit, because I have like realized that it's a really working strategy with the weapon art, especially. Because I have the Leo, if you trade, you usually get a good counter hit in there, and even if you don't, here, guy spams parry, gets the parry, but doesn't have time to riposte in there. Kind of sad for him, but yeah, good for us, I guess. And here, like just a simple sweep with the Corvian. I'm not too fond of the 100 moveset of Scorpion, but there are things that you can do. This guy, oh god, I remember this fight. I fucked up everything in this fight. Everything. Oh god, oh, it's even embarrassing to watch this thing. Just look at this fucking fight. Oh my god, I like men. I just remember that cute name. But here, look. I squeaked on the ground. Like, I don't know what my character did in there. I was attacking, but okay, I blame the uneven ground for this because I have no explanation what happened at the end there. You can look at it again and see and tell me what the hell happened. But my character kind of like, you know when you get these squeaks sometimes when you change the direction while running real fast? Well, I didn't even change the direction, but I still got some kind of weird movement. Like I don't even know what that was, but I was just ran into him and stopped and got hit by the R1. And it was super weird and super embarrassing fight. Like, I fucked up every single thing that a person can fuck up in that fight. So I was like, oh my god, that was bad. But yeah, sometimes those kind of things happen. It's just like, and you gotta cry yourself to sleep. Here we have this guy who's pestering with me with throwing knives and bleed setup. And he bravely trades with me in there. Pretty wise decision. I didn't think he would do that. I think he would draw after trading 2 times, but he didn't. So we're both really low on health in here. Try to sneak in some crossbow shots in there. And he gets to finish me with throwing knives. 2 losses in a row. 2 losses in a row, even though I didn't lose in a while, but sometimes just surprises happen. Here we have a guy, I think he's cosplaying, because he has the torch in there for no reason, really. I don't know if that's the torch weapon or torch. Yeah, that's a torch weapon, I think. Yeah, it is. I like that one sound when you hit the male opponent. It's so funny sounding. I think the Souls games always have a particular funny sounding like grunts and screams. Like, but there's nothing really that beats the hey, the old woman voice. That is the best still. Yeah, I just really amused by odd things in this game. I think their little unlocked poke. I used to unlock a lot more with the Corvian Great Knife in the start, but I haven't done it in a while. Great out of 10. Oh yeah, I remember this as well. Oh my god. That phantom range, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it is what it is. You have to, like... I bet that I have gotten the benefit of the phantom range myself in some of these fights. Probably in some cases with the fire bombs or something, so... But it always feels bad when it happens to you, doesn't it? And here, I got like... I have no answer why I used the jumping attack in there, and he gets the two R1 trades with me. And at this point I'm like, fuck, I cannot win this fight. There is no way I'm gonna come back with this. So... bad decisions were made. Really, really bad decisions. Till this day, I still don't know why the hell did I use a jumping attack in there. I guess my brain farted or something. Here I didn't get my weapon out to activate. Like, that's the thing with it. Like, even though, like, if you trade with the weapon art, it usually wins the trade. But sometimes you, well, I can't talk about you, but I mess up the timing so that the hyper armor doesn't have time to start. The hyper armor is actually on rather end in the animation. So you have to time it correctly for the hyper armor to start. At least for, like, I don't know exactly how much poise would add, like, the hyper armor frames, but yeah. At least in my case, I need to, like, time it a little bit early rather than late to get the hyper armor benefits. And here we have another Valorheart. I really like fighting Valorheart setups with this setup, I must say, because I have the perfect counter for it. Here for a little roll catch, which is another great quality of the weapon art. I block like get 2 block hits in there with Corvian and have time to escape. Because Corvian recovery speed is insanely fast. It is insane. Not even the poke speed is that impressive, but the recovery speed is. Like, you recover instantly after you have poked. And here, one of the easiest setup parries in this game. The spear R1 to R1, like, so lenient timing, so lenient. You will get that like 100% of the time, I bet, if they go for 2 R1s. And the thing is that people don't really expect setup parries too much in this game, I have realized, because people don't use setup parries in this game too much. But they're more useful than ever, because people actually use attack chains a lot in this game, like a lot. So setup parrying is still a viable tool, even on like a so-called higher level PvP. Well, not if you're used just like a washing pole running attacks or something like that, but yeah, setup parries still a thing that works sometimes. That is good to keep in mind at least, and especially for like now that the great sword R1 spamming with the protection of hyper armor is a thing. Really easy to parry. Really easy to set up parry, because people just keep on using the R1. They just keep on spamming that even if you block it, so that's one of the surest ways to get set up parries as well. So it's an option that you should keep in mind at least. Even now that especially now that in the arena you can possibly on some builds one-shot people with the parries, so yeah, even more reason to at least go for setup parries sometimes. Just not overuse it. So here we have a suspicious hood wearing, torch carrying, naked man thing. Respect their creativity. Give him that. And yeah, this fight really... I can't remember how this actually ended. I can't remember this fight at all. But it seems to be going really like... He attacks, rolls away, I attack, I roll away. It's kind of like a... just repeating pattern. Both using firebombs here and there. I even ran out. So, both are being really cautious. That's what I'm trying to say here with the attacks. Just one poke, roll away, so that the other one cannot punish, because we both have those, like, light rolls. And yeah, the match is over. We actually took a draw in there. And here we have like a battle mage or Badlemage with the Moonlight Greatsword and the some Pharaoh darts, I guess. I've been seeing a lot more mages in the arena, I must say, than I usually have seen in the PvP before the arena. So that's pretty cool, I guess. It's just annoying to deal with some of the mage shenanigans, in my opinion. I think that, like, there are skillful mage players, of course. I will not deny that. But the thing with spells is that I think that the outcome, if your spells hit or not, is so little to do with the player who's casting them, and more about the player who's dodging them. And that has always, I think, been the problem about spells. Like, with the melee combat, you have so much more variety with your timing of attacks, roll catches, times to poke in there in between of the attacks and stuff like that, that really doesn't work in the same way with spells. Because spells are kinda, they hit or not, but the timing is kinda the same. There are a couple of setups that you can kinda mix and match with the timings of different spells and try to mix those. But yeah, it's just mages are weird. They're hard to judge ever. Like, did I just get hit by the spell because the player was good at using them, or did I just fuck up myself? You know, I don't really know how to explain it, but fighting mages is so weird. You get like most of the mages using the same things, but sometimes you just get hit by them, and sometimes you do not. Sometimes you get hit by them, and sometimes you don't. And it's hard to tell if it was because of your own misdoing or was the mage doing something different in there. But yeah, I've actually fought setups where mages have been backpedaling for the whole match, casting the homing crystal soul mass and just running away. And sometimes they turn around and see if the crystal soul mass actually lands, and I always have to roll it because I don't have like a magic shield, and then they get the time to recast and rinse and repeat, and I never get to even touch the mage. And I don't know, maybe that could be considered like a skillful mage play. But in the end, it's just, I don't know. You be the judge of it, but I think the fighting mages is just like a weird thing in general. It doesn't feel right as a melee build, but I give respect to all mages. Nevertheless, like, if you pick a mage in this game, you're definitely doing something that most people aren't doing. And I respect that all kind of, like, different types of combat in this game are explored. and I definitely appreciate that, don't get me wrong. I even have a pyro build myself. But yeah, that's just a weird thing I have noticed, that when I fight mages, it feels like random to me. It feels that I usually fuck up something myself, and that causes me to lose to them more than anything else. Really. Even though I usually know their roll timings against different spell setups and stuff like that, but it's just weird. Just a flow of thought, really. Here we have this shit on a stick hammer. It's great weapon. Or great looking weapon. I don't really know how great it is. We're actually closing to the end here, and I really I keep my fingers crossed that I have counted these matches correctly, because I'm gonna make a fool out of myself if I've actually counted 100 and gotten it incorrectly. But this is the second to last match, if I have counted correctly. I really hope I have. But yeah, this commentary went by pretty fast, actually. Like, I don't know, I probably have repeated myself pretty much, because long commentaries, my commentary skills are not the best, so yeah, it kind of happens. But yeah, I really, overall, there's problems in the arena. It's buggy. Some modes don't work the way I wanted them to work. Yeah, there is some weird thing about delay or lag. I don't know what is causing it. Might be not even like from software's fault. But yeah, the looks aren't amazing. It's just freaking gray. It's way too large to my tastes, and yeah, there's problems. But in the end, I have still enjoyed the fuck out of my time in here. I enjoy this shit. I enjoy drinking beer, listening to music, doing arena matches. That's just so great entertainment, and I really love the fact that we actually have an arena here. I just hope this doesn't eat away random invasions in the future, but I don't see that happening, because usually random invasions are for people who are like when I invade people, they're just clearing the game. So yeah. But overall, like, I'm just glad that we have this. I'm so glad that we have this, and I hope that, like, I get to do a lot more stuff in the arena, because I enjoy this shit a lot. And I hope your guys guessed my win-loss ratio correctly. I cannot wait to see what you guys actually guessed. If you think I'm completely worthless in this game, or do you actually have faith in me? Because I think I had pretty... I still have to actually count this myself when I do the overlay, but I think I have pretty good, like, success on this session at least. But given I was actually not drunk on this session, so must give it throw that out there, because usually I'm like shit faced when I do the arena, but I was being a good boy, and while on this arena session I was only a few beers in, I think, so I was still pretty scarred. But yeah, this is the last fight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I bet this is probably like a 2-hour video almost, so thank you so much for watching if you watched this far. And let me know what your arena experiences have been. Have you spent a lot of time like dueling, or have you spent a lot of time doing the chaos matches, so to speak, 2v2s and stuff like that? What do you prefer? Do you have any feedback on the arena? Just share your experiences with me. I'm really interested actually to hear, do you have the same experiences I do? Do you hate some things about it? Do you love it? Do you want to like them to add more arenas? Or are you happy with this one that we have? Only this one? Or is the arena just completely useless? Would you rather move back to Pontiff? I wouldn't. I must say I wouldn't. The matchmaking is more simple in here than in the Pontiff, but well, I bet that some people disagree. But hey, those are just opinions. So here, this guy with the halberd actually almost gets me with the in my rolls. I mean. And there it was, the last fight. Yeah, thank you so much for watching everyone, and take care.